comes out in less than a month, and I'm a bit worried. As someone who's played through the entire series multiple times and delved deep into the lore, this franchise means a lot to me. And if you're watching this video, chances are you feel the same way. After 4 hours of hands-on time with a preview build of Mass Effect Andromeda, there's a lot I enjoyed, but I also noticed some red flags. Unfortunately, we were not allowed to record our play session, so what you'll be seeing is older footage. Be sure to subscribe so when we do finally get some more, you'll be the first to see it. My demo started from the very beginning of the game, which opens with Ryder, your player-created character waking up from 600 years of cryosleep. Ryder is aboard the Archiperion, thousands of colonists to Andromeda, but the spacecraft now finds itself wrapped in an inky substance called the Scourge, forcing part of the touchdown on the nearest planet. Following a harrowing descent that separated Ryder from most of his crew, I was able to start playing. Though controlling Ryder felt pretty good from the get-go, movement really began to shine once I reached my first combat encounter. It's clear Mass Effect Andromeda is taking a much more kinetic and fast-paced approach to the combat. Rather than hugging cover, I was using my jetpack to zip around the battlefield. If an enemy was hiding, I'd jump jet in the air, hover, and rain fire from above. And if I found myself pinned or taking too much damage, I could jet away. You still play Andromeda like a cover shooter, but both the new and old abilities fit perfectly with the sped-up pace. And after flipping through the extensive skill trees and an in-depth upgrade system, it's clear that Mass Effect Andromeda will foster a huge number of playstyles. It was also comforting to see how much Andromeda has embraced Mass Effect's RPG roots. Andromeda may look like an third-person shooter, but there's a lot more going on under the hood. There's a deep leveling system, plenty of customization, and a crafting component. The class system from previous Mass Effect games has been removed and replaced with profiles you can tailor and swap on the fly. Even if you picked an adept profile at the beginning, you can unlock abilities from any of the different trees. As you explore Andromeda, you will also come across plenty of loot like armor pieces, weapon modifications, and supplies like specialty ammo. Most of the loot is found in boxes similar to Mass Effect 1, and the resources can be located by diligently wildlife, flora, and architecture. When you return to your spacefaring base of operations, the Tempest, you can use your resources and supplies to research new weapons and armor. From the very beginning Once you've successfully researched an item, you can construct it, assuming you have the necessary amount of crafting materials. I only spent about 20 minutes looking through the R&D menus, but the number of options are staggering. Once you've crafted your perfect weapon or set of armor, you can name it. On paper, Mass Effect Andromeda is heading in the right direction. Exploration is back, the combat has been improved, and it's very much an RPG. So then, why am I worried? It's polish. Typically, when we play an early build of a game, we expect to see glitches in loading screens, texture popping, and so on. In many cases, these kinks are worked in time for full release. But Andromeda comes out in a month, which obviously doesn't leave much time to address the rough edges I noticed. Some cutscenes were missing sound, the lip syncing was off at times, the frame rate would drop, and some NPCs were missing detail and textures. This was an older, less complete build, but I'm nervous Mass Effect Andromeda will launch with its fair share of technical issues. I'm also worried that Andromeda won't have the same wow factor that Mass Effect 1 and 2 had. Both of those games broke new ground. They set a new standard for cinematic RPGs, and if I found myself the famous dialogue system has been adapted and amended by many developers over the past few years. From what I played, Andromeda appeared to be treading on familiar ground. The lush, open environments looked impressive, and driving the Nomad felt fantastic, but based on what I saw, Andromeda seems like Andromeda may look like an Inquisition, which isn't a bad thing, but is it what I really want out of a Mass Effect game? I don't think so. On the other hand, though, I do trust BioWare. So yes, I'm worried, but one thing is for sure, the combat and RPG elements are fantastic. Now let's hope all those technical issues get resolved, otherwise Andromeda might have a rocky start. If you have any questions about what I played, feel free to find me on Twitter or drop your questions in the comments below. If you love Mass Effect as much as we do, please because there will be plenty of videos on Andromeda in the coming weeks, and we are starting a new show where we try to make it to the final Citadel DLC. You can unlock abilities from any of the different trees. As always, thanks for watching. and the resources to construct it, assuming you have the necessary amount of crafting materials. Mass Effect Andromeda is heading in the right direction. Loading screens to address the rough edges I noticed. Some cutscenes were missing sound, the lip syncing was off at times, the frame rate would drop, and some NPCs were missing detail and textures. This was an older they set a new standard for cinematic art, but based on what I saw, Andromeda, those single issues get resolved. Otherwise, Andromeda might have a rocky start. If you have any questions, new show where we try to make it to the final
right on our heels.
Direction. Loading screens. Some NPCs were missing detail and textures. This was an old...
We took a closer look at combat gameplay. Today we're diving straight to the heart of Mass Effect Andromeda. Exploration. In addition to beautiful story missions, Andromeda is filled with world lore.
No way this is home.
Our story is contained within the Heat Cluster, a portion of space populated with dozens of star systems. And the Tempest is where that exploration begins. You can navigate star systems using the Tempest galaxy map. From planets to moons to anomalies and starships, wherever you are in Helios, you'll now be able to see everything that exists outside the ship's main windows in real time. In Andromeda, there are over 100 planets to discover, and a handful of beautifully crafted worlds can be landed in. And that's where the adventure really begins. Each world you visit has its own story, its own characters, and of course, its own challenges.
Single issues get resolved.
Today, the world we're going to visit is called Eladin. Exploring the opening landing area called Paradise, you'll quickly discover that the heat on this planet can be deadly. Water is scarce, and mysterious ancient artifacts dot the landscape guarded by dangerous remnant creatures. Basically, to live desperate. Or Krogan. But even the Krogan aren't. And they don't trust anyone from the initiative, least of all a Pathfinder. How you deal with the Krogan and these challenges will all determine your success on Eladin.
We need the Krogan, and the Krogan need us.
Before you set out, you'll get an update from your AI, pointing out key locations.
The Revenant monolith suggests this was indeed supposed to be a golden world.
We're going to start the adventure by heading over to the Krogan colony, but the choice of where to go is ultimately yours. Our all-terrain rover, the Nomad, is key to quickly covering the expanded landscapes throughout Andromeda. You can also enhance the Nomad with a series of functional upgrades designed to give you better turbo boost, higher jumps, better handling, and more. While you're exploring, one of the key objectives will be to discover locations to call down forces. These will act as a fast travel point and allow you to change your loadout or call the Nomad if it gets lost or destroyed. They also offer resupply and protection from any environmental hazards. Our conversations at the Krogan colony pointed us in a few directions. Exiles are causing trouble at their base, Flophouse, and a derelict remnant ship may have a drive core the Krogan are in desperate need of. Let's head to that ship and see what we can find. Out here, we are more exposed to the heat. In Andromeda, all of the planets have ice and/or global hazards. The Pathfinder and the Nomad are both separately outfitted with life support systems that help against these hazards. But once you're up, you'll need to find a safe location or a forward station to recharge.
I'm reading a normal temperature range, Pathfinder.
As you travel throughout the world, you'll find new areas to explore, new characters, and new storylines. Ultimately, all these discoveries will help raise the viability of the planet. Increasing planet viability does two things: allow for the outpost and upgrades. The Andromeda Initiative. Before planning support post, you'll first need viability to at least 40% by pacifying threats, allying your locals, solving environmental problems, and accomplishing specific tasks related to that planet's story. For example, in the case of Eladin, with the Krogan determine whether you can build here or not. Regardless of whether you build an outpost, your exploration and discoveries will also give a lot of viability points. Reaching threshold allows you to upgrade Nexus and wake up more colonists from cryosleep. Who you decide to wake up will determine what perks and advantages you'll. Will you wake up scientists to give you an edge in research and development? Military personnel to give you an edge in combat? Over 100 planets merchants to give you a leg up in trading? Today the world we're going to visit is called Eladin. But of course, not everything on these worlds will be so straightforward. Basically, Andromeda holds many mysteries, not the least of which is a vast network of ancient vaults. Simply figuring out how to access these vaults is a challenge in and of itself. It can take you across an entire world. Once inside, you'll need to rely on skills from every element of Andromeda gameplay, including exploration, environmental navigation, puzzle solving, and combat to get them back online. And then upgrades designed to give you better turbo boost. And resolving the mystery of these vaults may just hold the key to survival in Andromeda.
This is unbelievable.
At its heart, Mass Effect Andromeda is a game of discovery and exploration. The choices you make and the places you go, that you blaze your own unique trip through Andromeda. Whether you're exploring the crashed starship, delving into the core of an active volcano, the more you engage with the world around you and the characters in it, the more that world will surprise you with what's waiting just around the corner.
It's really going to be something, isn't it?
Welcome back to the Mass Effect Andromeda gameplay series. In this video, we will take a look at profiles, favorites, and your squad. As you level up in Mass Effect Andromeda, you'll gain access to dozens of skills and over 300 skill upgrades. You're free to pick any skill without being limited to a class, which allows you to create a Pathfinder that is totally suited to how you want to play. As we discovered last time, there are three main types of skills in the game: combat, tech, and biotics. As you unlock skills over the course of the game, you'll also start gaining access to profiles. There are 7 types. Let's take a look at 2 of them, the Adept and the Explorer. The Adept profile is perfect for players who want to specialize in biotics. As you choose more biotic skills, the Adept profile will give you bonuses to suit your playstyle. And as you can see, choosing Adept gives bonuses to duration and damage of your biotics. The more you invest in those skills, the higher level profiles you can unlock. Or maybe you want to be versatile, choosing some combat mixed with and tech skills. This will unlock the Explorer profile, giving you perks and buffs and enhanced abilities. And of course, you can swap these profiles at any time, allowing you to keep the action fresh, giving you a number of ways to tackle every battle, and making sure you never feel locked into a particular style of play. This brings us to favorites. Favorites are a quick way to map 3 skills and a single profile to one